Hey there, this is Sheena Rowlands and today I'm sharing with you my latest layout for Hey Little Magpie using 49 and Market Spectrum Gardenia and this wonderful cut file by Amelia, which is free in the Hey Little Magpie store. So I've cut it with the pattern paper and I've kept hold of the hearts. I'll show you more of that later, and I've also cut it in white cardstock. So using a thick white cardstock as a base, I'm going to add some mixed media to this. I want to echo the pattern paper, so I want to paint purples at the top and pinks at the bottom. Now, I'm not great at mixed media and I don't profess to be, but what I would say is I want this layout to be in the background, this mixed media. So I'm not too worried. I lift the paper over just to look at where the split between the pink and the purple is. But I just want to create like a watercolory feel, and I'm going to try and get the colours to mix in the centre. And what you need to remember, and which is becoming a bit of a mantra of mine, is this is just a piece of cardstock and your time. So if it doesn't go to plan, it's not the end of the world. So I've just brought some paper towel in there because I thought it was going a little bit wet and muddy across the middle. And I do want this cardstock to be relatively flat when I've finished. So I'll leave it to dry overnight and then I come back in, and this is the cut file cut from the patterned paper. So I'm just adding a few dots of glue. I want this to be flat over the top of the mixed media. So I find the more glue I add now, the flatter this will be. And I just position it over the paint and give that a good old press down. I think that looks really good, and you can see that the mixed media is already going into the background. Just trying to keep this flatter. I kept all the hearts on the silhouette mat. I'm going to come back in and add them back into the cut file, and that covers more of the mixed media. So as you can see, it's definitely becoming the base layer as such. So it's there and you notice it, but you don't really notice it. So I would check out the cut files in the store. Amelia's got lots on offer, but this one is actually a free one. So do check that out, just add it to your basket. So I'm going to bring in the white one and potentially use some of that tulle underneath it as well. But what I want to do now is think about the embellishments and the photo before I stick the white card die cut down. So I brought in everything from 49 and Market Spectrum Gardenia that are in shades of pink and purple, and I've also got some black and white in there as well. I want to use both of these photos of my daughter on a wet and windy August, which is very much like we've got now, in a lovely lilac coat. She wasn't very old, and this coat brings back memories definitely, so definitely worth scrapping with all these beautiful bits and pieces. So if you don't know 49 and Market very well, they do lots of these laser cut pieces that are beautiful. You do need to take your time to pop them out of the base layer, but they are just superb. They also do some bits you can cut yourself. So on the back of the packaging, there are always some shapes. So you may find that I do cut some a frame out, for example, or bits that were on the packaging. Because why not? It's lovely to have extra bits and pieces to be able to use. So I would really recommend you check out this 49 and Market range and all the others in the Hey Little Magpie store. There's also lots of special Hey Little Magpie pieces. So that flare badge you can see there, it's got a lovely like a canvas feel to it. It says collecting moments. That's specifically Hey Little Magpie. Plus the little flower in the right hand, the pink one. There's a lovely set of mini flowers, and I end up using quite a few of those on this. They're really good value as well, and just a nice different touch. Sometimes it's nice to have different textures on a layout, so the fact that they're like embroidered is perfect. So I've just brought in one of the 6x8 papers, and I'm just going to back both of those photos just to make them stand out. And I think I like the way that's coming along as a big embellishment cluster. I think you can still focus on the photographs, a nice big title that's in chipboard, and a few laser cuts as well. So I'm just having a look, see if there's any few bits I can add in. I really like that phrase, but I don't think it makes the cut in the end. But I really like the way this layout's going, so I'm going to just carry on, just checking a few bits and pieces, then I'll tidy up and carry on. I find that the more stuff I have around me, sometimes it distracts me once I've got enough on. So I've actually put this together off the layout because I actually want to do some more work on the background. So I brought in this lilac tulle. You can't really see it's lilac in the end, but basically I wanted to create a few shaker pockets with the hearts. So I'm actually going to put some lilac tulle behind some of the hearts and add some sequins in and make them into little pockets. So the reason for using the tulle and not acetate is it's not shiny, so I feel like it gives a softer look, and it also traps the sequins really well. It might be a bit fiddly when I come to put the foam on the back of the cut file, but we'll get to that. But I'm just picking a few around the cluster. That's why I brought the cluster back in over the cut file. There's no point me doing this work on one we're not going to see. So I think I picked 7 or 8 different hearts around the photograph, and I've picked out some sequins out my stash that are purples and pinks, and I'm going to add those in. So I'm just tucking some tulle in underneath so I can look at which hearts I want to make these pockets from. So I know this looks like a lot of work, and essentially it is, but I'm really liking the way the layout's looking, so I thought actually adding a little bit more to it isn't going to hurt. So I'm just picking out the sequins that I want and just checking. I just want the cluster to be surrounded by these hearts. So I turn the cut file over, and using some wet glue I stick the tulle to the back of the hearts that I want to make the shaker pockets from. I give that a chance to dry. I go and do a few other chores, and when I come back I cut it off very carefully with a pair of scissors. So the next thing I've done is I've added lots of foam to the back of the pockets and the rest of the cut file, and I've added some big pads in the centre there because obviously they're going to be hidden by the cluster, and I put lots of foam around the ones where the sequins were going to be. The rest of them I just put a couple of bits of foam just to keep them lifted off, but obviously you don't want the sequins dropping out of the pockets, so I actually did put a lot of foam around them. I didn't want you to watch me do that only because it was really boring, and what I did is, like this, I cut up the foam pads into little pieces. I found there was a couple that I must have missed, so I tucked in a few little strips of foam and then peeled the background off. So that would have been not the best viewing. But anyway, I really like the way that looks. So it's only raised it so many millimetres, but you can now actually shape those sequins in those pockets. So using a bit of double-sided tape, I'm going to put that cluster back over the centre where the big foam pads were. And I like the way that looked. See the way I gave that a bit of a shimmy there? I do like the way they move, isn't that? Simple pleasures, hey? So I'm now going to add just some final decoration to this big cluster. I'm going to add these bits on the right-hand side. The bow is still from the laser cuts, that little embroidered flower there. I think that just gives a nice pop of pink because there is some bright pink in the mixed media at the bottom. Same with the flare there, that just brings that pink back in. And I've actually put a laser cut bow underneath it just to add another layer. So these are some more like enamel dot type things from 49er Market. I'm going to add one to the bow there, and I'm going to add a heart to one of the photographs. So just looking at some finishing touches there. The hearts that you saw briefly there, they're also some Hey Little Magpie embellishments. So when you get a chance, make a cup of tea, sit down, have a good look through the store. There's lots on offer there. These stitch rub-ons are fabulous. 49er Market do rub-ons really, really well. And this is the second layout this month I've used them on. And just that stitch line there underneath the title I think works. And I'm going to put another one on that tab, that banner on the right as well. And just that little bit more black because we've obviously got a bit of stripe and there's some dark patches in the photographs. So I think together that all works. So here's the dimension. I know I'm shaking those sequins again. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Here's the final image and some close-ups too. And I hope to see you back here very soon. Bye for now.